You got that bomb. That What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I would like to welcome you all to another edition of Wayne's Perspective, where we operate in discipline, decency, integrity, and respect. And I'm coming through with another video just for you. Okay, y'all. So this particular video is going to be interesting. I think I'm going to go in on this one like I went else where I talked about a similar topic, but focus on the Trump supporters, or as I call them, Trump worshipers, because it seems like this whole talking point about understanding the Trump supporter is starting to rear its ugly head again. And look, let me keep it real. I'm not calling y'all ugly, but it's rearing its ugly head because we seriously do not need to have this discussion again. And it doesn't matter whether we're going into a presidential race or not. We just don't need to have this conversation. So before I get to the actual content itself, let me read you all the definitions of support and the definitions of worship. This is coming directly from the Merriam-Webster website. Now, support is defined as to endure bravely or quietly, to promote the interest or cause of, to uphold or defend as valid or right, to argue or vote for, assist, help, to act with, to bid and bridge as to show support for, to provide with substantiation, to pay the cost of, to provide a basis for the existence or subsistence of, to hold up or serve as a foundation or prop for, to maintain a price at a desired level by purchases or loans, to keep from failing, yielding, or losing courage, to keep something going. Those are all the related definitions of support. Continuing on, the definition of worship is to honor or show reverence for as a divine being or supernatural power, to regard with great or extravagant respect, honor, or devotion. And I think I'm going to come back to one or both of these definitions towards the end of this video. So, with all that being said, let's go ahead and get right into it, y'all. So, the Trump supporters, or as worshipers, as I call them, bless their hearts. Bless their hearts. I've never seen a group of people who define what it means to be entitled, coddled at almost every turn, and frowned upon being called deplorable. And some celebrate the fact that they were called that too, and probably still do today, but will still call you names and dare you to check them. And if you do check them, they want to play victim. You know, that is one defining arc, if you will, when it comes to the average Trump supporter, Trump worshiper. You know, I call them worshipers because that's what they are. So, and again, the reason that I'm doing this video is because, like I said, it seems like that whole notion that we need to understand the Trump supporter is starting to rear its ugly head slowly but surely. It's starting to go there again. I don't know why, because it didn't do anything the last time it came about. So why are we rehashing this now? I don't know. You know, and I'm pretty sure most of you listening to this don't know either. So let's go back a little bit, shall we? Let's go back to, you know, some of the early years of the Obama era. Let's go back to that. You know, now before Mr. Obama was elected, y'all remember some of the what did they call them? Some of them town halls that they had with Mr. McCain, God rest his soul. And I recall one couple. Well, no, it was a couple, but the husband had stood up on behalf of himself and his wife. And I mean, this guy, bless his heart, he stood up and he told John McCain, and I'm paraphrasing, he was on some, you know, thank you, sir. Me and my wife, and I think he had a child. Either they had a small child or they had a child on the way. And he was speaking in soft tones. He was like, "Thank you, Mr. McCain. My wife and I, we're scared. We're terrified for an Obama presidency." And Mr. McCain, to his credit, had to pretty much check the guy and told him that they had nothing to be worried about or scared about, you know, because even though Obama was a guy that he had disagreements with, he was a family man. You know, he was a good man, so you didn't have anything to be scared of. And that turned out to be a true statement because they didn't have anything to be scared about. But I want to focus on that a bit because that was the hysteria long before the election even took place. And you had other people who were making comments like that or just making it seem like, you know, that was going to be the end of America as they know it. And I guarantee you that man and his wife, if they're still together and they still have a child or more children, I bet you they're still surviving just as comfortably, you know. So it wasn't the end of America as they may have, you know, deemed it as at the time. It really wasn't, you know. And then the shift from that and then the shift to that other talk of, you know, I'm not gonna do the mocking voice here, but you know, one lady, I believe this wasn't a town hall. This was something that was really um for like a right-wing cause or something. And I believe this was either after before or after Obama was elected. You had the woman, she was white, she got up and she said, you know, she wanted her country back. Want your country back from what? You know, who took anything from you? Did somebody take something from you? Did somebody steal something? You know, and I ain't trying to be flippant or funny. I'm just going by this question. And she just asked it with such conviction, like somebody took something from her or her country was leaving or something like that. And let me go to that notion as well that, you know, something is being taken away. So you got this notion that, you know, of the forgotten man and the forgotten woman, right? You know, and I'm here to say this just like others have said in other videos, you know, over the years. Nobody is stealing their jobs or making it harder for them to survive or making job advancement unattainable. You know, now where they are in their lives is naturally based on the decisions that they make. You know, as adults, people are going to do what they're going to do. They're going to live how they're going to live. They're going to make the decisions that they're going to make. So that's your thing. Now, if there's some things that happen that's beyond your control, I get that. I understand that. You know, I'm human just like you are. You know, we all have memories, or not memories. We all have instances like that. But you can't blame that on another section of people or another race of people because your situation is not the best. Us as Black people, we don't do that. You know, we're not going to blame others for our mistakes or our misgivings or our hardships or whatever. Now, I think as a community, we're long past the point of quote unquote blaming the man or blaming the white man for holding us down. We're long past that point because we're in a situation, or should I say, we're at a point in time in history where there are many opportunities. You can go do stuff. Shout out to Joe Claire from Comic View back in 1995. You can go do stuff. There's opportunities out there. So we can no longer use that the white man is holding us down or the man is holding us back. We can't use that anymore. It's not relevant anymore. It's not cute. And it's not revolutionary. It's not entertaining, for the lack of a better word. We just can't use that anymore because it's not sufficient to present day 2024. You get what I'm saying? So I just see that as a case where when it comes to, you know, when Black people start doing well and succeeding in life, they feel left behind. Or when there's an influx of people from other countries coming in, then they feel like something is being taken or something is being stolen. And that's not the case. And I know there's some hysteria surrounding, you know, in 2050 or somewhere around there, this country is going to be a largely majority country, and that largely majority Muslim country or people of color or something like that. And I believe that that's based on statistics and looking forward. And apparently that scares the hell out of some people. Why, I don't know. It's still going to be America. It may be a little more blacker and browner than what you're accustomed to, but make no mistake about it, nothing is going by the wayside. Nothing is being stolen. Nothing is being taken. Nobody is making it hard for you to survive. Nobody is preventing you from doing what you got to do. None of that. So I just wanted to make those things clear. Now, the next part I want to mention before I get to the ultimate point of this video is, you know, going back to the Obama era a bit. Now, y'all remember when they were having the debates regarding the Affordable Care Act? You know, now I call it the Affordable Care Act or the ACA. I don't call it Obamacare because there's just, I don't want to say it's a negative connotation with that term. I just never called it that. You know, the Republicans called it that in an effort to demean it and discredit it, but it caught on and it didn't, you know, it didn't mean what they thought it meant, you know. Now, some people may look at it and think it's a negative thing or whatever the case may be. But Remember when that was taking place? I believe this was in 2010 or going into 2011 or something like that. And there was a big fight on Capitol Hill about it. You know, the Republicans were largely against it, the Democrats were largely for it. And then getting into the debates, and I want to say this was either when they was already debating it or it was after it had passed and put into law. You had the protests out there. Now there was this one guy. I mean, I remember a lot of them out there, but there was this one guy, and he was hysterical. He was a white man. I'm pretty sure y'all might have seen this clip. This guy was on some, you know, and I'm trying not to do the mocking voice. Y'all bear with me. This guy was like, "You want to take my grandparents? You want to take my parents? You got to come through me." And I'm like, dude, it's not that serious. And I think he said grandparents. I don't think he said parents. But he was indignant and he meant what the hell he said. And I just think back to that. Then I think back to it now. Nobody was trying to force you to take health care. The healthcare system then was not the best. And quite frankly, we would argue that it's not the best now. But at least somebody was trying to do something because other presidents had tried to do something for decades prior to this, but they never materialized. It just so happened that Obama came in and materialized. And yes, it was on a party line vote. So what? You know, at least somebody attempted to do something because if that would have been the McCain and Palin administration, we wouldn't have got it. Plain and simple. If it would have been any other Republican, we wouldn't have got it. Or if we would have got it, it would have been on a different level than what we got. So just imagine a situation where, you know, you got one one person would say they hate Obamacare, but then they like the ACA. Help me make that make sense because it's the same damn thing. But I digress. But like I said, just the conviction of that guy. You want to come get my grandparents? You your ass down. You know, all over healthcare. Nobody is forcing you to do a damn thing. You know, this is all in an effort to make sure that the healthcare system is fixed in this country. And quite frankly, it succeeded. And the ACA, as we speak, is still popular. And any efforts that the GOP made to try to discredit it or repeal it, or as they said, repeal and replace, they largely failed. And they're going to continue to fail because it's the law of the land now. You can't do much about that. So, you know, and I'll say this, credit to the Obama administration and everybody who pushed through to make that happen. It doesn't matter if it was on a party line vote. The Republicans, they lost out, for lack of a better way to explain that. So that's that part. So getting to the next part, with the next two parts, there was a documentary I looked at on PBS. I can't recall the name of it right now, but it was a documentary that focused on the Obama presidency leading to the Trump presidency. It was a good documentary. Quite frankly, I need to look at it again. And at the beginning of it, there was another supporter, or in this case, I would say worshiper of Trump. Now, you want to talk about some racist comments? I mean, blatant racism. This guy, he seemed to be, you know, a big buff white guy. He probably was in his mid 20s at the time, and or should I say mid to late 20s at the time. And I guess he was in some type of debate with somebody who was of Mexican descent. And this white man, you know, bless his heart, I guess. I mean, he was indignant and just going off on this guy, pretty much saying, you know, go, and I'm paraphrasing, he was like, go back to where you came from. You know what? Go somewhere and make me a damn burrito. Trump. And I'm like, what? And I mean, just the conviction in his voice, the hate on his face. And look, nobody can come to me and say that that guy was joking. No, because see, like I said on this channel, everything is a damn joke, you know. And that guy wasn't joking. He meant exactly what the hell he said. You know, go back to where you came from, go somewhere and make me a burrito. You can't get any more racist than that because you know what the connection here is when it comes to Mexicans and burritos. Y'all know what it is. You know, you don't need to ask me. So that's that part. And like I said, I need to go back and revisit that documentary, not because it makes me mad when I look at it, but just some more historical context on the subject. And last but not least, okay, the actual main point of this is, like I said, it seems like we're entering into another period where articles and I guess programs are coming out in terms of understanding the Trump voter. Why do we have to revisit this again? Why do we have to rehash this? It shouldn't have been a thing back in 2016 and 2017, but somebody is dragging this up, And I think back to that whole period, CNN had those Trump panels, and I asked then and I asked now, did any other president have any panels dedicated to their voters? Obama didn't have a panel dedicated to him. Biden didn't. Clinton didn't. Bush 41 didn't. Bush 43 didn't. Reagan didn't. Carter didn't. Y'all see where I'm going. None of them had any panels dedicated to them. Now, if they did, y'all can correct me in the comment section. Let me know. But to date, I've not seen any panels dedicated to any other president other than Trump. And I mean, they had them things, not consecutively or consistency, but look, they had a damn enough of them, all right, to a point where it was just, well, I don't want to say sickening. I don't want to go that far, but not even bother, And that was one guy. You see, when it comes to these things, there's always one person that I remember that stands out above all others. You had the one guy at the ACA protest talking about, if you want to come get his grandparents, you got to come through me. Then you got the one guy in that clip at the beginning of the PBS documentary talking about go back to where you came from. You know what? Go somewhere and make my burrito and all that stuff. Then you got this one guy on the CNN panel, and I believe this was either in late 2016 or the early part of 2017. I won't forget him. I'm going to try not to do the mocking voice. I may do it, but towards the end of the clip, this guy, like I said, he was an older white man with glasses. If I had to take a guess, he probably was in his mid or late 60s. This guy was ecstatic. He was like, when it came to Trump, I think the host name was Allison. I can't recall her last name. It started with C, and I don't want to butcher the last name, but I remember her name was Allison. She asked some question or made some type of comment, and this guy, he came in, I'm so proud of him. And I was sitting at the table, at the time, and I just face palm. I'm like, really? Like, what the hell are you so proud about? That sort of thing. And it's like, that's what we were seeing in 2016, 2017. And I hope that God, for CNN's sake, that they do not bring this back, because that's the last thing that we need to see. We do not need to see no panels like that. We just don't. But overall, when it comes to understanding them, why do we need to consistently coddle these people? Why do we need to understand people who don't want to see the progression of anyone other than their own race? Why do we need to understand people who believe largely in conspiracy theories? Why do we need to understand people who tolerate and participate in racism or racist acts? Why do we need to understand people who don't care about anything policy related unless it benefits them personally? Why do we need to understand people who, in this case, women who will wear you can grab this shirt? And y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all remember that comment Trump made about, grabbing women by their genitals, and you had some of his supporters at that time wearing shirts pointing down saying that you can grab this, but let Obama or somebody else with self-respect make a comment like that, or it'll be a huge news story, and it'll be all sorts of comments and controversy and all that stuff if he said that. But apparently Trump, he can say it. So, but that's right. He was joking, because everything is a damn joke, right? Got it. Why should we understand people who would blatantly tell you, excuse my French, fuck your feelings? Why do we need to understand people who would gladly accost others with no consequences? And y'all seen the videos in 2016 and 17 and 18 and 19 and 2020 with people just going straight loco and showing their natural asses, accosting people where they're going and stuff like that. Just imagine a situation where you're going to an apartment or wherever, and you're trying to go up the steps and go to where you live at, and then you're accosted by someone pretty much telling you that they never seen you before, and you need to show some type of proof that you stay there. Never mind the fact that you don't have to show them shit. Excuse my French. You don't got to show them a damn thing. But then if you knock them on their ass, then you the wrong one, right? Never mind the fact that you're being accosted and all that stuff. I mean, we've seen enough of that, and hopefully that doesn't start up again either. But we've seen enough of it, during that Trump era, And then please don't even get me started on the double standards and the hypocrisy. And if you've been following me, y'all know that when it comes to double standards and hypocrisy, those two things really get under my skin. I mean, probably they're up there in terms of, people being arrogant and people being smug. Is up there on that list. Things that get under my skin, double standards, hypocrisy, arrogance, and stuff like that. It really gets under my skin. So without trying to drag this on further, because I've been talking about this enough already, I'm not trying to be disrespectful and I'm not trying to be evil or mean or anything like that. But when it comes to just their supporters and their supporters alone, why this consistent need for calling them as if a group of adult people need to be coddled? And let me ask this. You notice that when it comes to supporters as worshipers and when it came to those panels and things like that, you rarely see any black people. You mainly see only white people, not trying to turn this into a race thing. But you notice that that's happened, right? I mean, maybe see one or maybe two black people, but I don't recall ever seeing any black people on the panels or black people in this instance saying that they're the forgotten man or the forgotten woman or anything like that. I've never seen it, but I digress. But like I said, I just hope that as we inch closer to this election, and then I mean it's getting here, y'all. It's gonna be here before we know it, and I will be voting on election day, Am I gonna do a live stream on that day? I don't know, but I'm gonna do something lead into the election, pretty much talking about how important and essential and vital voting is. I think I'm gonna do that, and I got some ideas brewing, but I haven't really jotted down anything yet. So, the election is going to be here, but again, we don't need to go down right. We do not need to see any type of panels or any type of articles or programs on TV or online talking about standing the Trump voter. We're long as that. We don't need to see it. Quite frankly, I don't want to see it. And I don't think we should be subject to that. If you want to understand the voters, how about talking to all voters and getting all voters' thoughts instead of just focusing on Trump voters? Why the hell do we need to keep understanding them? It's nothing to understand. We know what they support. That's the bottom line. Oh, one more thing. Why do we need to understand the plight of people who believes in it and everything that Trump says? He can't make a mistake. He doesn't say anything wrong. He don't do anything wrong. Everything he says is right. Everything he does is right. Every decision that he makes is a sound one. He can do no wrong. He's 100% across the board. Why do we need to understand people like that? Why? Help me understand. And on that note, y'all, I'm done with this video because I'm a little exhausted for even having to talk about this. So, man, if you like what you heard and you're ready to become part of Team Discipline, go ahead and hit that like button. And please, let me know your thoughts on this as well. Let me know your thoughts. Oh. You know what? Before I go, we come back to those definitions. Support and worship. In this case, one that I'll pick out of support is to uphold or defend as valid or right, as well as to argue or vote for. That's support. And then we have worship, to honor or show reverence for as a divine being or supernatural power, to regard with great or extravagant respect, honor, or devotion. So let me ask, is Donald Trump a divine being? Is he a supernatural power? Does he deserve great or extravagant respect, honor, or devotion? Y'all let me know. I know what my answer is. So we're going to end it at that. Last but not least, hit that subscribe button along with the bell so you're notified when I drop new videos. And until next time, my people, take care of yourselves. And remember, the power of the mind is valuable and self-respect is everything. Take care, y'all.